So one thing you need to know beforehand, and I will mute all of you. There you go. One thing you need to know before we start is that we are recording this, so we'll send it to you, and it will be available for more people. So we are recording only my screen. You will not appear in the video. But if you talk, then the recording will record your screen also during that time. So if you don't want to appear, you can mute. No, you can turn off your camera before making any question, or you can just write it down in the chat. Okay, that is the way you can be sure that you will not appear. Otherwise, you can have your cameras on. You will only appear if you unmute yourself and then you speak. So I will love if you have all your cameras on, if you can. So again, thank you very much for being here. We will start tuning in. Please bring your palms together at the heart center. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale to chant. Inhale deep. Hold it in. Exhale. So again, for the people that just joined the class, we are only recording my screen. If you unmute yourself and then speak, then you will be recorded too. So if you do not want to be recorded, just make your questions through the chat or turn off your camera and then speak. Good. So stress. This is a very free class, meaning it's not very structured. You can ask anytime. Just raise your hand so I don't lose the track of what I'm saying, or you just write it in the chat. So whenever I finish whatever I'm saying, then we can answer that question. So we have this course in February. This course have different goals. This free class. One is to inspire you and to inform you more about how it is, what is the yogic psychology view on stress, so you can be inspired. Another one is to provide more information, to give you more tools, to teach more about it, so you can have something helpful. Doesn't matter if you are attending or not to the actual course. So I think you will have some stuff that are very, very valuable and useful for you. So the thing with stress is that more information you have actually helps. That is not true in every aspect of the knowledge and in the every aspect of habits, but knowing, understanding what is the stress, how it happened, how it behaves, how to drop it, all the theory, actually you can use it and apply it in your personal life. That will allow you to see the stress before, because sometimes you realize you are stressed and it's too late. So that is the first principle in the yogic approach. Being in stress already means that you're late for doing something. Of course, it's good that you need now to do something with the stress, but by definition, stress is a deformation of yourself. It's a distance from your own self. So the very concept of stress actually doesn't come from neither medicine or psychology or psychiatry. It comes up actually from physics. So what it actually means originally is this. Pay attention, please. Stress is when you apply a force to an object, and by the effect of this force, the object is deformed. That is the definition. That's the actual definition in physics. Again, you apply a force. How can I? Well, whatever it is. You apply a force to an object, and by the virtue of this force, the object loses its forms, its shape. That is a stress. It's a phenomenon. It's not something that you can grab. It's just a phenomenon, something that happens. So when you apply that to your personal life, to the stress in your mind and in your emotions and in your personality, what it means is that you are not yourself. You have been deformed by the pressure of this force. It can be either an external force or a force from inside. Could be a trauma, could be an idea, could be a thought. But the fact is that you are not yourself because you are stressed. So we always say things like that. For instance, I can tell someone, you know what, don't take it personal today, I'm just stressed. You say that beforehand. You're warning the other person that you are under stress. So please don't take it personal. What actually you're trying to say is, I'm not thinking in the way I always think. I'm not doing the usual interpretation of the emotions and behavior and words of the other person. I'm not understanding my emotions the way I normally do. I'm not having the same emotions that I normally have. I'm not behaving the same way I normally behave. I'm not reacting the same way I will normally react. That is what you're trying to say, right? You're trying to say, I'm not myself in this moment. That is stress. So when you are trying to do something with your stress because you feel the stress, it means it is late. You can fix it, of course, but you already You're already not reacting as you usually do. You are not talking the usual way you do it, and you're all of you don't have the feelings you normally have. That is already happening. So according to yogic approach, your daily life needs certain habits to handle stress. That is every day. We call it in yogic psychology perpetual habits. Some habits that you are not doing in order to achieve something, and then when you achieve them, then you can stop doing them because you have conquered that. The stress doesn't work like that. Pressure in life is normal, it's part of life. You will have it absolutely every day. It's very funny. You have stress because you do too much, and you are not in your home all day because you're working, and you have stress because you're lying down all day in bed. Right? You have stress in either way. Everything is a stress in life. Everything brings pressure to your life in a certain way and in a certain amount. So for that reason, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you work out, the way you meditate, all of that needs to take in account the stress. If you are not handling the stress every day, it means the stress will grab you at a certain moment. So remember, if you want to ask something, just raise your hand or write in the chat. So if stress is something natural in your life, there is a reason for stress to be there. And the stress is not something that we want to avoid, because stress is something that it is necessary for growth. If you think, when you learn anything, intellectually or physically or spiritually, you are just handling the amount of stress. So if you want to become a better reader, you need to read more, and you need to go to that point where your mind is under stress, because under that stress will be stronger in the future. If you go to the gym, the only thing you are doing, you are stressing and stressing and stressing and stressing your muscles and your bones and your nerves, right? And if you want to grow, to mature, it is the same thing. You are putting yourself voluntarily in situations, in situation in your life that are stressful for you, that you are not used to handle, that you don't know really well how to react and what is the better response. So you put a stress over yourself. When you meditate, it hurts. The mind is wandering, and you bring it back and bring it back and bring it back. So you're putting a stress over yourself, and so stress is something that is needed for growing. And when you get a mastery of the self, what it means physically talking and psychologically talking, is that you are mastering handling the amounts of stress. That is what it means. Whatever the pressure is, you can handle the stress perfectly. So you never stop being yourself. So we have a positive stress that allows you to grow, to be healthy. Your health, your physical health depends on the stress. So we can get sick by too much stress or too little stress. In both situations, you get sick. So we have this positive stress that allows you to grow, to mature, to strengthen yourself in any dimension of your life. And then you have this toxic stress. The toxic stress is when you didn't handle it. And now it's creating illness in you. It's making you to be separated of yourself, distant of yourself. And when the distance is too big, we call it depression. Stress is a condition for depression. You can never be depressed if you didn't have stress before. It's a condition. It's just a deep expression of stress, the depression. So we don't want to be under heavy stress, and we don't want to be totally relaxed. Can you talk about the effect of chronic stress, please? Okay, Sandra. So in both extremes, you get sick and that damage you. So what do we want? The perfect state, the maximum state of excellence of yourself in every dimension, in yogic terms, is called vitality. That is what we want to achieve. Okay? Whenever you are handling stress, don't look for relaxation only. That is one part, and sometimes that's what you need in this moment. But the excellence in your life is an equilibrium of stress and relaxation. And the perfect equilibrium of that is what we call vitality. Vitality, mentally talking, is the neutral mind. When you are vital, your mind is neutral. You will never see a person that is vital that is not neutral. It comes together. Maybe you can see the person with a lot of energy. Yeah, that's right. But it's not relaxed. It's not the equilibrium. The person is not neutral in the mind. Spiritually talking means intuition. Have you ever seen anyone with deep intuition under stress? No. Observe yourself. Those days, those situations that you can remember where you was very intuitive, you actually was feeling vital, right? Emotionally means peace and joy. And physically means disequilibrium is like you are active, you are alert, or alert, I don't know how to say in English, and at the same time you feel relaxed. You feel fresh, relaxed, light. But you are not in a position just to lie down and not do nothing. You are ready, right? You're ready. That is vitality. That is the excellence in us. So, one person is asking if I can talk about the effects of chronic stress. Yeah, it have many different effects, and it is important to remember that the effects of stress may be different if the stress is because it's too much relaxation, or if the stress is for too much pressure, too much activity, and you never rest. It is different. But both are stress. So, in both cases, you may have depression, for instance. But where the problem is too little stress, you have more of allergies or any other, how you call it in English? Let me think in Spanish. In autoimmune disease, can you say that? Yes? Autoimmune disease. So, this is very important because sometimes people think it's because you are very stressed. No. Allergies and the other autoimmune diseases are not because too much stress, it's because too little stress. But this little stress never goes away because you never stress enough. I will explain this. It may sound really weird, but let me explain. Look. You have a situation in your life that is uncomfortable or it is painful. And this situation is always there. You repeat it again and again and again and again. You have a problem with your mother, you have a problem with your father, you don't have the strength to face it, you have a problem in your personal finances, and you really need to do more stuff, but you are afraid of facing whatever you have to face, so you don't act, you know? Or you have just communication problems, and you have communication problems with this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. You always have these communication problems, but you are too arrogant to ask for forgiveness and to apologize, you know? So what it means is that what you actually need is to stress yourself more voluntarily. We call that in yoga self-initiation. Self-initiation means that you stress yourself voluntarily to respond to certain situation. That is what it means. You have a pain in your life and you don't have the courage to face it. You never do that call. So it's very interesting that it have been studied that meditators and also martial artists, when something happens, the peak of stress is higher than regular people. It's very interesting. It's not lower, it's higher. But that is why there are less stress in the normal life. Because that peak of stress means that when something strike them, they do something. They say, you know what, I will fix it right now. And they act. And they fix it. And then they can relax. That is why vitality is what we need. So, if you don't stress yourself at will, what it means that? It means I choose how much I need to activate myself. In what moment, in front of whom, for how long, and how strong. So what you're trying to do is to match the situation, to attack it and fix it, handle it. So this is solved and you can forget about it. So this stress of too much relaxation that comes with this specific type of depressions and autoimmune problems is too little stress. But the problem with that is that the stressful situations of your life, they never go away. So you are always stressed. A little, but always. So your immune system falls apart after years of that situation. So one thing we need to master is when we have to completely relax, to fix ourselves, to repair our bodies, to repair our minds, and when we need to fully stress ourselves at will in order to respond to something, to some need. Right? So we have a primary stress and secondary stress. We need to learn to train ourselves to live always with only primary stress and not secondary stress. Primary stress is the stress that the situation itself causes. You have a situation, it demands something from you, and it is normal to have this amount of stress under that situation because things are difficult, because it's too hot or too cold or too difficult, too much noise, whatever it is. It is normal. It is natural and you can handle that. But then you have the secondary stress, and secondary stress is when you stress because of the stress. You know what I mean? You have the situation, you have to handle it. It creates a pressure, and that's fine. Actually, you want it because you want to grow, you want to be happy. It means you have to face it. If you want to grow, you need to develop certain virtues and habits, certain strength. You can only do that through situations. So it's beautiful. But what we do is we get stressed because there is an stress. And the secondary stress is just psychological stress. We create that. It is not necessary, it's not part of the situation, it is not needed to fix it. It have nothing to do with the situation itself. It's just our beliefs, our traumas, our interpretations of the situation that we feel it is terrible, is it a crisis, is it we react too much. So we have a stress that is toxic. So I will give you a homework to do. This is just for you. If you are not in the course, then you will not report this. If you want to talk to me through WhatsApp and share with me what you discover or you need help, please do it. I happily will help you in any way. But this is the homework for you. You have a reaction when you have pressure on your shoulders. Okay, you have a reaction. And think about something. What is the very first sign that you can recognize of yourself when you are under stress? What is the first one? How do you know that you are stressed? Because we don't know it from the stress itself. What we actually do normally is that we notice a reaction or certain behavior or way of talking or a specific feeling or a specific physical sensation or a specific reaction to others that tell us, oh, I'm stressed. No? So the homework for you is, what is that first sign? And when you have clarity of that, try to go back to an earlier sign that you can detect. And when you have that, try to do it again and again and again and again and again. Try to go to the earliest clue of a stress that you can. Because, for instance, some people say, I know that I'm stressed because I am upset. Yeah, that is very late. You're already upset. So many things have happened before, but you didn't detect them. You didn't realize you were under stress. But there was other signs, for sure. There were. Right? So if you are upset, something made you feel like that. So for instance, you start to think or to observe yourself during a period of time, and then you realize, I get upset because there is too much noise. So now your sign of stress is not when you feel upset. The sign is when you feel it's too much noise. Just that. Or you get upset because you think everybody is an idiot. So now you know, I'm not upset, I'm just starting to think that everybody is wrong. That is my first sign now. But that is too late still. Why is too late? Because with that you are already reacting too much and you are already creating situations that you will have to face afterwards. You will have to fix it. You will have to apologize. And you want to detect your stress before you have screwed it up. So now you go from thinking everybody is an idiot to, I feel that I am not competent. Oh, that's better. And then you go from that to, I don't know, I'm just making up things. I just feel time is not enough. So you have already came back and now you are 4 or 5 situations before. Now you can detect it very early before it creates more struggles in your life. It's a very simple thing to do, but you can prevent so much problems just by doing that. And it's very simple. It's very simple. When you detect what is your first sign that you can detect, just start observing yourself. Anytime you're under stress, observe yourself. Now I'm upset. Why? What happened? How do I feel? It's because of that. Okay, I have one step lower. I don't know how to keep saying what I want to say in English. Do you understand? Now what you are one step before, right? Or let's say one step ahead. You are one step ahead of the stress, right? So, do you have any question here? I have a meditation for you. Think about it or write it down. Meanwhile, I will set the timer and then we do meditation. If you don't have any question, then after the meditation maybe you have some questions. It is fine. And remember, if you want to talk, you will appear in the recording. So turn off your camera if you do not want to be recorded. Oh, there is a question about too little stress. Okay, I'll read it. You talked about too little stress and its effects, but not when too much stress. Or is the secondary stress the too much stress? No, the secondary stress is not the too much stress. Because, for instance, if you are, how do you say the opposite of overreacting? You are not reacting enough. Well, reacting, yoga, is not a good word, but you are not acting as strong as it is needed. And the reason for that, underreacting, you are underreacting. So the reason for that is because you are afraid of the consequences of your reaction, right? That is secondary stress. Because something is happening and you think the consequences of doing something will be this, and that is just your imagination. So that is secondary stress. So secondary stress is any stress, any interpretation of reality that you do, which is different to just facing the situation as needed. So too much stress. You have sleep disorders, for instance. I want to read it. It's just that there are many things that can happen emotionally and psychologically, and what you call it, physically. You have many symptoms and disorders that you can present. Let me think if I can find it quick. I'm just looking my own PowerPoints. Okay, there you go. For instance, too little stress, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, which is autoimmune disease, allergy, asthma, depression. You have depression in the other one too. Seasonal depression, arthritis, PTSD. How do you call that? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Because you didn't act, you didn't have that vitality, you didn't, yogically talking, the energy didn't move enough while things were happening, and you're frozen. And because you're frozen, now you have the post-traumatic stress. There's too little stress during the trauma. Inflammatory disease, hypothyroidism, well, many examples of autoimmune disease. And then too much stress, depression again, and persistent melancholy, lack of dreaming, problems of dreaming. The people that up to yesterday have signed up for the stress course in February, actually we are giving them a video about the sleeping. That is very important in stress. Diabetes, panic attacks, alcoholism, and other addictions. I don't know how to say this in English. I'm reading in Spanish. But when you have problem in your digestive system, that is very typical of too much stress. And these are some examples. PTSD. Thank you. Okay. So let's go for meditation. So this meditation is a meditation for when you feel the load of stress, just for that. Okay, in general, it's not for any specific thing, it's just when you feel that is too much stress, that's it, and you want to decrease the amount of pressure you feel over your shoulders. Okay? Very simple. So what you do is this. You put your hands over your knees, or you can do Gyan Mudra. Whatever you do is fine. Okay? Then you will inhale in 8 strokes. Okay? 8 strokes. My primary language is Spanish. Sorry for that. So 8 strokes. So it means you inhale 1/8, and you stop, and then another 8th, and you stop, and you do so. So after 8 strokes, you stop, and your lungs should be full. No even one drop of air can come in, even if you want. Totally full. Okay? So in the first or second round, maybe you will not have the exact measurement for how much you need to inhale in every stroke, but after 3 or 5, you will find it. And you don't have to think about it, you just find it, and you do it automatically. So 8 to inhale, 1 to exhale. And the exhale is powerful, not very powerful. So you know that it's too much when you feel, I have no idea how to say in English, when you feel this thing in your ears, like when you go underwater or when you are flying, right? You feel this sensation in your ears, this problem of pressure. Yeah, pressure in your ears. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Sita Gyan. She's my translator right now. So you feel this pressure in your ears. That is not what you want. You do it strong, but don't go that hard. So it make noise, but it's not very, very hard. Okay, and that's it. So it will sound like this. Just listen. Okay? So your spine is always straight. Don't do like this when you exhale. You're always straight. And do you hear this sound at the end of my exhalation? You hear that? Yeah, that is how it sounds when you really exhale everything. Okay? Simple. So, one more thing. When you inhale and you stop, fully stop. And don't exhale a little bit after starting to inhale. Many people do like this, like. And then, yes, you fill your lungs, but you exhale a little bit. No, you stop, and from here you start again. Okay? Good. Now. Chin, chin, chin. Give me 1 second before we start. Well, okay, so your hands in your knees, Gyan Mudra or just over your knees, both are fine. Spine is straight, close your eyes, look the third eye with your closed eyes. Exhale all the air and begin. Continue. 8 to inhale, 1 to exhale. Strong breathing. Do it with force. It have to make noise. And concentrate. Use the total capacity of your lungs and concentrate, deeply concentrate. Now inhale deep in one stroke and fill your lungs completely. Inhale, 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 and hold it in. Observe yourself. Meditate. Contemplate. Keep the posture, exhale. Closed eyes closed. Now inhale deep again. Full breath. Full breath. Hold it in and roll your shoulders. Rotate your shoulders very big. Hold the breath in and rotate very big. Take out all the stress, all the pressure, the tension in your shoulders. Exhale. Last time. Inhale deep. Full, and hold it in and rotate your shoulders, roll the shoulders very fast now, very fast, super fast. Remove all the tension, fast. Big circles, fast, quick. And exhale. Remain there with your eyes closed. Long and deep breathing. And feel yourself. Waheguru. Good. So we are done for today. If you have any last question, this is your moment. Or we just finish right now. I will wait just a little bit. Meanwhile, thank you very much for being here. I hope you find it helpful and you can apply what we spoke in your personal life. Anything you need, just text me. I will happily answer you and help you in any way I can. If you want to attend the course, we're sending this free video on sleeping to support for an extra thing for handling your stress. Just until today, just text me and I will send you anyhow the video, so you can take advantage of it. Question: are we rotating forward or backwards? It doesn't matter. Either way is fine. So, bring your palms together. Close your eyes. Inhale to chant. May the long time sun shine upon you. all love surround you, and a pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So one person is asking how long we did the meditation. We did it for 11 minutes. Can you please give full name of this meditation so that I can find it on 3HO? I don't know the name in English. In Spanish, if I translate it straight, it's something like segmented meditation to alleviate stress. I'm just translating from Spanish. Maybe there is a slight difference in the name in English. So again, thank you very much. God bless you all. I hope to see some of you in February. Remember, it's not only to learn techniques, but to understand how stress works, so you can observe yourself and use these tools for life to different situations that you will face in your life. Sadam.